Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Dream School podcast. I'm Ronan, and I'm here with
Henry again.
All right, Henry. Today's topic is relationships. Exciting, I know. So, Henry, we'll just start it off with: is it easy to find a partner nowadays?
I think so, to be honest. I mean, I'll try and be positive about it. I think it is if you're a genuine person and you're brave enough to really be yourself. You will eventually find someone. I mean, it's statistically impossible not to. It's a 50-50 population. You will find someone. But as always, I think sometimes people get a bit scared and a bit nervous about it, a bit insecure. Then they start to perform. They start to adopt some kind of identity that they think is going to help them get on with people better. It doesn't. And before you know it, you're a player on a stage. And if you keep going like that for a few years, the audience won't let you leave. And you're just going to be performing forever and ever.
Yeah, and that's not fun.
Bizarre hellscape bubble. Yeah, and you know what I mean. I was saying, people who like the same music, people who wear the same clothes.
Yeah, you can't.
They get together and then they break up.
Yeah,
and then they go and date somebody else who looks exactly the same. And
exactly. It's an endless cycle. Yeah.
And you see that sometimes with friendship groups and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think if you get yourself out of that, if you just take a breather and you're true to yourself and you keep it simple, what do you value? What do you really want? Not what do you think you want? I want somebody cool, or I want somebody who's into the same things as me. What do you really want?
Who cares when you're 70 years old?
Exactly.
That's the problem.
And lots of people don't have that perspective.
No, they don't.
Think about it like long term.
They can only think about 5 years ahead. That's about it. But I would say it is pretty hard, in my opinion, because people have such high standards. Like, you have to make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. You have to have a jawline sharper than a blade. You have to have muscles. You have to be you have to be sociable. You have to do everything perfectly for a lot of people, and a lot of people are very picky on topics too, like I've seen TikTok and there's girls the ick, because a guy likes something and she's like, that's the ick. And it's like, what? That should ruin a relationship because you don't like something that he likes. That's a bit concerning. And I think it's just accelerated even more and more, and people become more picky. And if you're not a 10 out of 10 model, people don't look at you anyways, from what I've noticed. And it's a pretty bad atmosphere, really, and it's just very degrading to both sides, because a small portion of people online make it that way. And it really hurts the standards of what people should be for others, when really all it should be is you love each other, you have fun with each other, you understand each other, and you want a future together. That's really all it should be,
Yeah, definitely. I agree. I think you're right. It's a small minority of people who are on social media and create content, and then it's the vast majority who consume it,
and a lot of people follow it.
Images. So the models and everything, it affects everyone.
It does.
You end up having all these bizarre ideas about what you should look like and the things you need to say to be cool and things, and it does kind of mess it up. And you're right, that does make it a lot more difficult. So I guess if that's a negative thing, how do we find the right partner then? More in real life, I suppose? Is that still possible?
Most definitely. If you're on dating apps, you're just expecting the worst, really, or it has to be in person, and you should be going to places where you a hobby, then find someone there, because they're going to share something similar to you, and it will be a good start. So you're not just talking to some random stranger that you know nothing about. At least you have a good start with someone, or college is a great place because you can be friends with them for a while and then understand maybe, hey, I'd like to start dating this person, or church can be a very good place for a lot of people if you want more religious or morally standard people. I think it just depends on where you're searching. Going to a bar or parties, you're expecting the worst out of them pretty much, because if you're there, they're usually drinking, smoking, doing something, drugs, even sometimes sleeping around. And personally, that's not the type of people I want in my life. But if you pick a bad area with bad moral people, you're going to expect a bad relationship for the most part. And I think that's probably the first step to finding someone, a partner that fits for you, really. What about you, Henry?
Yeah, definitely. I think you definitely get back what you give out a lot more than people think. So you're right. It depends what you're looking for. especially with relationships, if you look, if you're true to yourself and you're looking for what you know is good for you, you will eventually find it, of course. But as you say, a lot of people are very confused. And if people do want to go out and party and drink, then that's their life.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's actually only a minority of those people who really want to, who really are like that.
Yeah.
Which is great. And these are the people who, I don't know, maybe will write the next Jack Kerouac novel or something, but the vast majority of them are just doing it because they think it's cool, and
they think it's cool. It's a phase for most people,
and it's only really a small minority. So it depends whatever's right for you. But where can you meet people? I think it's random, isn't it?
It could be, it really could be.
You just have to be open to it. And nowadays, of course, people don't really talk to each other on trains or anything like that.
No, it's
especially
silence
in the UK. No,
just silence.
Rightfully
everywhere.
so. But my professor at university told me that he met his current partner on a train, just talking to her on a train.
That's sweet.
So that's quite nice. I think that's a real life example.
Yeah, it's romantic actually. He's like doing something like that. So.
It is. It's old school. It's romantic.
It is very old school.
It's nice to know that it still happens.
Sometimes.
Yeah. So you can find it anywhere. You can find it anywhere as long as you've got an open mind to it.
So Henry, what is important for you in a relationship? Like, what do you value the most in your partner?
I think it's just genuineness. I think as long as someone is a real person and the things that they say and do are in line with their genuine desire, then I'm always okay with them. And I think that's all I was ever really looking for, because we're all the same species. I mean, it doesn't, we're not as different as people might suggest we are. Like, as long as we're we say what we actually believe and we act the way we feel, I think that's perfectly acceptable. And so that's all I was really looking for. And my wife is a very genuine person. And the things that she says, whether I think that they're right or wrong, I know are always coming from a genuine place.
Yeah, it's what she believes.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the most important thing for me. And also sense of humor, of course.
You've got
to get through the years somehow.
Yeah, exactly. Because you can't always do like physical activities together. So you got to use your mouth. So you got to make some humor. But I would agree with the genuine. Like, my girlfriend, she's very open, very honest about who she is. And then humor, of course, has to be funny. If they can't be funny, they're not going to be with me. I joke all the time. So like, she has to be able to take my humor, which she does. So, but do you think physical attraction plays a big role into relationships? Just out of curiosity.
I don't. Not really. I think not in a relationship. But of course, the problem is, again, we have to be open about this.
Yeah.
The first time you see someone, the physical side of it is going to be present. It is going to be present. And so that's why when people talk about Tinder, it's all about appearances and
a lot
dating
of those photos are just fake.
They are fake, but also the same dynamics apply in real life. When Henry VIII agreed to marry Anne of Cleves, he received a very flattering portrait of her from the Dutch king or whatever, and then when she arrived, he wasn't very happy. So it's physical appearances do matter.
It does, yeah.
But it's just a question of that not being dominant.
Yeah,
it's a question
exactly,
of what dominates your thinking. It should never dominate. It's just the kind of a little spark, a little thing to add. You might like a certain person's smile, a person's eyes.
Yeah, that's true. Eyes, anything. Yeah, but I think it plays at least a bit of a role in it.
Of course,
because you have to be attracted to them. Like, you can't be with someone and just keep saying they're ugly or something. Like, that'd be a very big problem for the relationship if you were doing that. So exactly. I'd say, like, you have to at least be somewhat physically attracted to them. But I think their personality and the love usually adds that extra look, like that extra attraction to them.
Definitely.
But what about long distance, Henry?
Long distance. Yeah, I think long distance in today's world is pretty easy.
A lot easier.
Depending on how long it is. Cause
yeah.
I was in the UK and my wife is in Poland. So
it's not too far
away. 4
away.
Flights a day from London Airport. And it costs about £20, hundreds of
Wow, that's easy.
It's like 90 minutes on the plane. So it was really nothing. It was really nothing at all. And with a person from a different country, cultural stuff, not many. It's a very globalized world. And again, I think...
especially Western worlds.
Yeah, and it's just about enjoying the differences, really. Like, there are some cultural differences, but they're so imperceptible that you don't really notice them. And when you do, it's just kind of something that's quite funny.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, exactly.
Quite entertaining.
Yeah.
It's not really something that's like annoying, if you're an open-minded person. But what about you? What was your experience like?
Well, my long distance was a little further than yours, considering I was American and she was Polish, so she was in Poland. That was a lot harder because I couldn't just take a flight any day. You know, that was 8 hours, if not longer, and it was at least $1,000. So it's a lot more expensive to do that. But we pulled it off because we had, you know, FaceTime, texting, Discord, games, videos. We could do all those types of cute things, you know, and stay in touch with each other. So it was a lot easier now than it ever was. So I would agree with that. But the cultural thing is funny because comparing my culture to hers and like just things together, like foods here, like pickle soup was like wild to me. I was like, what is pickle soup? Like, you mean pickles? And it was just funny, you know, it ended up being funny. And then things that I tell her about America, she questions, you know, America's diabetes and fat and, you know, all of our good foods and stuff. So it's like very questionable. But I would say I agree with you on both of them. Like, it's a lot easier for long distance and it's a lot easier to adapt to culture because it's westernized for the most part. And religion could help a lot too. If you share the same religion, then it doesn't really change much of the culture. Like a Christian and a Muslim, there'd be a lot more conflict in that. Or like a Jew and a Hindu, there'd be a lot more conflict. But as long if you were raised on the same, you know, moral beliefs, I think it helps a lot too. Like 2 Christians, 2 Muslims, 2 Jews, 2 Hindus, 2 Buddhists, it makes it a lot easier to connect with each other as well, because that kind of raises you into what you know and what you feel. So
are you Roman Catholic? Or
yeah, I am
Roman
Catholic. Yeah, I'm Catholic.
Okay.
Yeah,
I wasn't
yeah.
sure what the situation was in America because it's like 50-50. It was quite
no. Actually, America's like 80-something% Protestant.
right,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
interesting.
But
But you've got Irish heritage.
Yeah, I'm
of course,
half Irish, so
Okay,
I've got
yeah,
that.
of
But my
course.
mom was actually Catholic and she's American, so
okay, yeah.
yeah, it was very lucky for me.
They're
But-
still there. Before we end, one last thing, a story about how did you meet your partner? So, Ronan, how did you meet your partner?
She was on vacation in America, and we talked, exchanged numbers, just texted from there. Simple, yeah.
Nice, yeah, that's the thing. You can meet people in real life, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
literally,
really nice.
yeah.
Yeah, similar, I guess. We were both kind of on holiday, but it was an English language camp, volunteer camp. But we were basically on holiday, and yeah, we were both English teachers at this
Oh,
volunteering
that's
camp
nice.
in Poland, and it was the same
Oh,
thing.
you were in
yeah.
Poland.
In Poland,
Oh, okay.
it was during my summer holiday, and yeah, we did this English language volunteering camp in rural Poland, and yeah, it was nice. We just got talking and yeah, exchanged numbers and Instagram and whatever, and it just went from there. So yeah, it really can happen in the most unexpected way.
Yeah, that's
And
true. Yeah,
you
that's very true.
Just got to be open to it, guys.
Yeah, just be open, but don't sacrifice your values for someone. It's not worth it.
Yes.
It will never be worth it. So,
no, definitely.
but to that note, Henry, thank you for your answers, and we will see all of you next time.